Oh my goodness! Woo! Arena World Champ! They're feeding you, Abby. This is like a petting zoo where you pay to feed the animals, except online. And we only have one animal. Turn. Check this out. This is why they are D combo. BP goes in, does some damage. That's it. His turn's over. But wait, what's that? 1,000 speed bar fill? How's this possible? It's time to do.
Got it. I'm in. Got the password.
And then after that, it's gonna be Blackbeard. Call it! Call it! Call it! Call it! Call it! Okay!
Hello, my name is Drew, and I would like to be the first one to welcome you and say thank you for joining us on the OPC podcast. If you could do us a favor and just tell us a little bit about who you are and a little bit about yourself.
Hey, Drew. My name's Zeenigami. I'm Zach. I'm a full-time streamer on Twitch. Been streaming for about 5 years, taking it seriously for 4 years, partner for 3 years, and full-time for 2. So that's a real easy rundown right there. Mostly play a mobile anime game called One Piece Treasure Cruise, and been playing a bunch of other variety stuff. Just finished through the horror game Soma, which is amazing.
That is a really fantastic game. That's one of my favorites.
Oh god, it's so good.
So with everything that you play, whether it be One Piece style games or going into Soma, how did you start gaming?
I mean, started playing like ever since I don't know how small. I remember the first console I had was a Super Nintendo. So I had SNES, Game Boy Color, playing a lot of Pokemon Red and Crystal. And on SNES, my jam was Super Mario All-Stars Legend of the Seven Stars. Oh, that's a good RPG. Man, I played through that game so many times.
There you go. And with your love for video games, what exactly directed that into getting involved with Twitch and creating content on YouTube?
So I first started Twitch. I said that was 5 years ago I started streaming on Twitch, and then 4 years ago I took it seriously. Because the first entire year of Twitch was I'm playing Hearthstone, I'm playing Diablo, I'm playing League of Legends. If I stream this on Twitch, if I do something cool, I'll have it so I can save it. But more importantly, I'll feel like I'm not like wasting my time playing games. It's like, yeah, I'm like doing something while I play games. But deep down inside, I knew I was just playing games and having fun. And eventually I was like, if I keep playing League of Legends and Diablo and the same games that every other streamer is playing, I'm never going to get anywhere. You're not going to go anywhere on Twitch if you're playing any of like the top 10 big games, because there's just way too many people playing them. So I bounced out of that, started scrolling down, seeing what some other people are playing, I remember it's Clash of Clans, and I watched a bunch of people playing Clash of Clans. Like, I don't understand why anybody would watch someone play Clash of Clans, because you get like, oh yeah, and now I'm going to upgrade my town hall and wait 6 days. So let's just watch this thing tick down. And the entire time I spent 2 days just watching streamers playing this. And I was like, I don't understand why anybody would watch this junk. But hey, maybe we'll try out a mobile game. So I found a mobile game. I found one that was actually fun to play. I like anime. I'm a nerd. Or I'm a weeb. So we can go into anime games, talk about anime and stuff like that. And everything's been great ever since.
That's awesome. And there are a lot of us here that, certainly you're not the only anime lover or weeb, as I also I love anime. I love everything about the art style, the way that like storylines are directed, and it's a whole different medium that can be entertained. But with playing a mobile game on Twitch and one that's centered around an anime, do you feel like people need to know the ins and outs of, One Piece to be able to enjoy the mobile game that you play?
It definitely. Mostly because it's very character based.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look at like Hearthstone and you've played World of Warcraft or Warcraft 3 or any of those, it makes a big difference. I mean, Hearthstone is big enough that enough people play it without knowing like the originals, that it's just characters with names. But if you know all the characters and you know all the names and you know the lore behind them, then the cards themselves become a lot more interesting. Like, oh yeah, that is what that effect does, or these are mage spells, these are warlock spells, and you get that feel of the lore and the stuff behind it, which makes it like extra cool. And that happens the same in the game. It's like you can play it, you can enjoy the gameplay, but if you like know the characters and you know how to interact, it's just way, 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 way more interesting. You're like, oh yeah, this is my favorite character. I love how these characters work together, or it's like really ironic that these characters who are bitter enemies, or one of the characters has like killed another one, but they work really well in game together. So you're like, complete bitter enemies, but we'll put them on the same team because it just works great.
So for those that actually don't know the game, could you tell us a little bit more about the game and how it interacts?
Yeah, so it is in one sense the antithesis of things that I enjoy playing in games. It is a gacha game, which GACHA, which means that it's one of the games where you're opening packs to get new characters. Right? Characters have rarities on them. You either save up the slow in-game currency or you pay your real-life money in order to get these characters. So you can get characters by playing the game, but you're like trying to open up packs and get all these rare characters. That's like the antithesis of everything I want. It's like it's in one way, because you have to pay out this money that you can't get back out. It's not like physical card games or anything like that. It's like if I pull something that's rare but I don't need, I'll sell it and I can buy more stuff. Once I spend that money, it just goes to the game developers and I'll never see any of it back. And sometimes you just get burned on that terribly. And it feels terrible. And sometimes you get lucky and it feels great. But the actual gameplay is you collect all your characters and you make a team of 6 characters, and then you go through, you fight through the stages. And it's big to me is that a lot of it comes down to how you build the team. It's like you're playing. It's very similar to the kind of deck building you see in a card game, where like I'm gonna build a team that has a lot of red type characters on there to fight this green fight, because red's good against green because it's got that rock paper scissors system in there. So I'm gonna build I'll use my red character against the green team, or use this green team against the blue team. Or I'll build a really weird team, but this is a team that heals a lot, so it might take a while for me to beat something, but I'm never going to die.
And it's incredible the knowledge you actually have, with your team building, and you have such success on the game. When it comes to your views on YouTube, or being like basically you're a dominating streamer on Twitch for the game. You're the number one streamer for the game. It's incredible to like realize how much knowledge you have for it. And it's honestly...
That's because I'm an Asian nerd. And man, the only thing we can do really well is nerd out about the geekiest things.
And it's wonderful. And like there's so many people that support you like currently on Twitch, but we have to wonder, was it always like that when you first started streaming the game? Was it an instant hit? Were you just surrounded by momentum and growth with the game, or was it kind of like a grind over streaming for the past, since 2014?
Yeah. So it definitely has. It's gone up and down. When I started out, I had to. So when we first started playing the game on Twitch, we actually used to play it under a different game title. So it used to be under a different mobile game that was by the same developers and under a different title. And I had to add it to Giant Bomb's databases. That way you could even play it on Twitch. So I added on there so we actually can play it. So it actually says One Piece Treasure Cruise as we play the game. And I wasn't even the biggest guy out there. There were a few other bigger YouTubers than me, and I mean, it was like, as a community, we've reminisced about the people who we've gained and lost over the years. Like, oh yeah, do you remember like so and so when he used to stream? Oh yeah, like this guy used to stream. And because it's like it does have a lot of like money aspects to it, a lot of people burn out. Like a lot of people go really hard and then they burn out, and then we just lose them in the community. Like, oh, you remember that guy? You remember that guy? And so it's fun to reminisce not only about like the game itself, like how it used to be in the past, but also about like the people who've gone through our community and has been a part of it while we're growing up.
And that definitely makes sense, as you know, the Twitch community is one of the reasons why you do, you know, your live content, because you don't do as much, you know, let's play content on YouTube because you like to be able to interact with the community. And being on Twitch as long as you have, we do see that some people go in and out, and it's one of those things that, yeah, you can reminisce about that, and sometimes it's sad, and sometimes it's great because you do see new faces, or you get to see, you know, people like Zeenigami who are just like sticking around for the long haul. Now, out of curiosity, with that community that you have, does your audience ever dictate the direction you should take your stream, or, you know, keep you playing the game?
So, I mean, look, my stream is my kingdom, okay? Like, I make all the rules. No one gets to say anything about how I do things. I do like to have, especially when we play off games, because what I do is I mostly I play this mobile game and I'll play an off game afterwards. And then sometimes we'll vote on that. So like on Discord right now, all my subs have decided that Tales of Berseria is gonna be my next long playthrough after Pokemon. And Smash is like the, hey, let's like relax and lose terribly to a bunch of like better players. And I haven't even jumped into PvP on Smash yet. I'm still just going through single player, so I can like scrub lord it up, and I'll feel good for a little while as you get those like fake stat points. And I'll fight 1-on-1 versus someone who'll get smashed, and later, and it won't feel great.
That's awesome. So on a side note, who's your favorite Smash character to play?
Oh man, so like those characters I'm good at, probably Link is one of the characters I'm better at. Used to love Pikachu, and now I'm liking Link. But for style points, you gotta break out like Falcon. Falco. Captain Falcon. Oh my god. I don't know why I'm shortening his name. Captain Falcon, man. That's like how you bring out the style points, dude.
It's a lot better than me. I have like literally no style points. I just float around with Kirby and just try not to get to like.
Oh, I hate playing as Kirby. I hate Kirby and Jigglypuff. They're like
they just
the way that
around.
they're like just so floaty with their jumps. It just annoys me, man. I'm just.
Yeah, that's the nature of Smash, and yeah, unfortunately, I play Kirby. I'm not cool enough to, you know, be good at Link or even Captain Falcon. But now, streaming mobile games, going back to that, are there any technical hurdles that you encounter when, like, you know, starting to stream mobile games, and how did you overcome them?
Oh yeah, so like one of the big reasons I started playing a mobile game is because there's like that extra barrier to entry. Like if you want to play a PC game, that's easy. You download OBS or you download Slobs, which is even easier now. Love the Streamlabs guys. Shout out to them. Once you download that, you're like add one thing onto the scene. You don't even have a webcam. You're done. You're good to go. You can start streaming like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It takes longer to register your account and confirm your email. With a mobile game, you have to figure out like, okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to get my phone to my computer? If you're using iOS, they have to buy an extra dongle so that way you can connect that to like a capture card and bring it in just like a console would. On Android, you can mirror it to your PC using mirroring apps, but there's a bit of a delay on there, and your mileage will vary on the amount of audio you get, if you get audio at all, and how much it cuts in and cuts out. Lately, for the last few years, I've been using an emulator. So I just run a program on my computer that thinks it's a mobile phone, and I just play it with mouse and keyboard.
And that's actually really smart. You know, we've had other people that emulate mobile games for their stream on the OPC podcast. And it's great that you can let people know that mirroring isn't the way to go, so that they're just not wasting time. Because that's one of the things, like getting your initial jump into streaming. That's why we have people like you on the podcast, help people do things effectively and not, work too hard, which is wonderful because one of your taglines is play smarter, not harder, I believe. And I actually love that. And that goes hand in hand with streaming, as much as you can do to like make sure that you're not, wasting your time. Just start streaming, go. That's wonderful. So if someone from your community wanted to start streaming on Twitch as a variety streamer, as you always do, or as you also do, are there any tips that you would recommend that could help them out starting their channel?
Oh man, variety is so hard. Oh man, you're shooting yourself in the foot immediately as soon as you say you want to start off as variety. I mean, that's like the ultimate goal, right? Like no one wants to be stuck in a game that they've played for years, especially when they stop liking it. I mean, you look at Hearthstone streamers nowadays, especially, you can see like all the enjoyment just draining out of their face. You look at League streamers, and like if you go on a lose streak, you can just watch them like physically die inside. So you're like, I mean, I guess we'll queue up again. I need to make rent this month. And like when you're variety, it's great. You get to enjoy all these cool games. Like if you get bored of a game, ditch it. You go play something new. We play a racing game this week. We play a fighting game another week. Whatever I want. We're gonna play games. It's gonna be great. But because you're jumping around, especially if you're not sticking to like a genre, you're not like I'm playing a bunch of different shooters. I'm playing a bunch of different space games or a bunch of different horror games. Especially if you're not sticking to a genre like that, it is really hard to build a community. I mean, imagine you're watching TV. You're watching TV, you flip on the Discovery Channel, and they've got some people rummaging through like sheds and trying to sell things. Can you imagine that? I mean, you go to the History Channel, you see some people in a pawn store. That would be ridiculous. But I mean, that's what you get if you like turning on a stream. It's like turning on a channel on TV. If I go to the Discovery Channel, I want to see some cool science stuff. If I want to turn on Animal Planet, I want to see some animals. And if it's not what I want to see, maybe I'll just change the channel. And the same thing happens on Twitch, is that even if I followed you for one game, if you're variety, you're not playing that game, I might just never come back. It's extra super, super hard to start off if you're trying to do like variety at the beginning. That is very hard. And for sure, the number one thing to do is just avoid any of the top 10 games on Twitch. If you go on Twitch, you go on browsing and you look at the top 10 games right there and now playing, unless it's one of the AGDQ games, which is going on right now, all those top 10 games, way super flooded. You should never be in any of them because I can tell you right now, you go to Fortnite and you just scroll down, there's at least 40 plus pages of streamers. Like you've got several hundred people streaming Fortnite, and several hundred of those have 2 viewers or less. And if you want to stream Fortnite and you're starting off with 0 or 1 viewers, you're fighting with literally hundreds of other people at the exact same situation as you. Like you're not just a needle in a haystack. You are a hay in a haystack. You're hoping someone reaches in and picks you up to look at you.
That's actually, that's a brilliant way to put it. And I, for one, I've never been able to scroll all the way down to find the streams that have 0 viewers on there. My actual tab on my on Chrome actually like crashes before I get all the way down, which is ridiculous. And you've gotten past all that, and you've actually become successful on both Twitch and YouTube.
Yes.
Would you have any tips for somebody trying to start a YouTube channel?
A lot of the same thing applies. With YouTube, it comes down a lot more to being a good editor. There's like a very similar but very distinct set of skills if you want to be Twitch or you want to be YouTube. You want to be Twitch, you don't have to be as clever because a lot of your jokes are a long period of time. I mean, if you're watching like if you watch a Let's Play, you cut out the most important parts of that. In an hour, you might even just take like the top 10 minutes, 15 minutes maybe. If you want to collect everything important that happened, maybe that hour becomes 30 minutes. You're cutting off half of all that fluff in there. And so you could take out every single boring moment. If you go off on a tangent and you just drop that story, just don't put it. If you have a great story, put it in. You can have a good writing skills. You can be a writer. You could plan out your Let's Plays and just have stories and tell things during your gameplay, and it's great. And all that works for YouTube. You don't have to do Let's Play. There's lots of different things. You can analyze things. You can be a shoutcaster. You can do reviews. You can do deep dives into games. You can have so many cool things on YouTube, especially that comes into skills outside of presentation, outside of being on air, and outside of this part of the personality, where you can be awkward, you could stutter, you can take 20 takes and you just take that one right one and make it and you're good. But you have to have that secondary skill of either having good planning or having good writing or having good editing skills, having fun editing skills, knowing your timings. That way, whatever you're doing on YouTube looks good. And you have to have skills in graphics. So you have to be able to make your things stand out. You have to make a good thumbnail and all that. And a lot of things that you don't have to worry about on Twitch. Whereas on the flip side, on Twitch, you have to be a lot better at being able to maintain a conscious stream of thought. Like being able to go from moment to moment and actually speak and enunciate what you're saying. You have to speak clearly all the time. You can't mumble half the time, because if you're mumbling half the time, YouTube doesn't matter. Cut out the mumbling parts. On Twitch, you're mumbling half the time. That's 50% bad content. No one's listening to you for half the time. And you have a few seconds on Twitch and on YouTube to catch someone. Right? It's about that first 10 seconds. And we all know that even that 5-second ad that you get is draining on our soul. So you're like, oh man, we're all sitting here with our finger over skip ad. We're like, come on, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. We're like watching every single millisecond of that thing count down. And the same thing on Twitch is that if I watch you and you haven't said something in 15 seconds, I'm gone. Like, you've got a few seconds to catch me, and if you don't catch me in those first few seconds, I'm out of there. So you have to be
so true.
Constantly on and constantly entertaining. And that's like the biggest thing on Twitch is that you have to make sure that whatever personality level you set, the type of content you're going to be making, the type of energy you're bringing is there all the time.
And that's certainly true. And, you know, through all of this, when you decided to take streaming more seriously and you decided to start creating content for YouTube, and you've actually been able to, you know, catch so many different people's attention. Did you ever think at the beginning that you would be able to like beat the odds and gain as much success as you did?
Look, really important thing about me is I've got a heck of an inflated ego. Oh my goodness, man, do I think the world of myself. Oh boy, oh boy. I mean, so I know I'm not the best at a lot of things. I'm very pragmatic. I did not jump into Twitch until I was already like solidly okay. Like never 2 feet first, never all eggs in one basket. I went to college for computer science, had a job in IT, threw away like a salary, healthcare, and a stable job to play games and maybe have a job next month. You know, all the safe things in life, threw away, you know, all the things that said, yeah, I'll definitely be able to buy you Christmas presents, to like, you know, I'll see if I can afford gas.
And it's, you know, it's amazing to see, you know, where you are now, you know, and despite everything that you might have, you know, thrown away, you know, even all the safe things. And we noticed you've gotten to a point where you're able to mentor other streamers and content creators. And on your website, you've created a mentorship program.
Yeah.
What inspired you to create this?
So this is actually something that I've been wanting to have on Twitch for a while. What kicked me into it was Streamlabs started a guild system. And that way people could sign up. There'd be a guild leader. People would sign up for that guild. And then the guild leader would use that as a platform to mentor or teach their members. Unfortunately, there weren't many people actually doing the mentoring part. There were like 3 of us that actually ever did any actual mentorship. The rest of it just used them as like an extra way to make Twitch teams. So I had great success over there. Eventually, they shut that down, and I still ran that myself. So I now have I still run my mentorship program. It's a coaching program where I help coach other streamers on how to get their streams better. You know, it's the difference between sitting in that class and having your teacher talk on the board about history, and then going to the night classes and having someone sit down with you. All right, this is what you're weak at. All right, You're great at math. You're terrible at history. Let's focus that. Let's nail in on that. What are you bad at? Your Twitter is atrocious. You gotta fix that stuff. Your YouTube videos are you're missing tags. You're missing titles. You're missing your thumbnails are ugly. You know, stuff like that. Just someone to like take you and shake you and ring you on and say, this is what you need. This is what you need to work on. And that sort of thing. And that's what I think I'm good at, because I'm terribly mean. And I am not the kind of person that's like, hey, everyone could be a streamer. No, not everyone can be a streamer. Not everyone can do it. Everyone can have fun with it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Everyone can have fun with it and have a good time. It's just like karaoke. Everyone can sing karaoke, but not everyone's going to make money on it. It's the same thing on Twitch, is that if you want to be an actor, you want to be a singer, hey, it's fun. Your family's going to always support you because that's like their job, right? A lot of people are like, but my family says I'm so funny. Well, yeah, that's their job. That's what your friends are there for. They wouldn't be your friends if they said, oh, I mean, like, you're not really fun to be around. So you gotta have that sort of self-reflection on yourself. It's like, am I fun to watch? And a lot of things like that. And I'm just being generally like mean. I am very critical about things in general. So that's why I feel like I'm very good at helping people with this. I'm very good at narrowing down. It's like, this is what you need to work on. And a lot less of the, hey, we can all get there. So they're not all going to get there. We're going to step on a lot of people on the way. But if you try, you definitely can up those odds. I mean, at the end of the day, you're rolling dice, but you can have the difference between rolling like a D10 and rolling a D4.
And you know, that's actually a really awesome thing to say and to point out, is that everybody can have fun, but yeah, you know, not everybody's going to be able to make it, but you know, having the tips to be able to like give yourself better odds, exactly like you said, is perfect. I like that. I actually really appreciate that. Now, through all of this, coming to the point that you're at, what would you say your most memorable moment, whether it's been Twitch or YouTube, has been?
Oh man. So I'll say one of the best moments overall is the community that I have is for the gacha game. And there is, of course, a small subsect of people who are the flunkies. And I call them that for you because they have tried to make their YouTube channel. They've tried to get people to watch their gameplay, and they didn't make it. So now they spend their time hating on everyone else who has a YouTube channel and has managed to make money off of it. And oh my goodness, if you've ever dared to run an ad on any of your YouTube videos, you're a greedy, money-grubbing loser who's only in this to steal cash from all of your pitiless viewers. And there's just Facebook threads about like, oh yeah, who's your favorite? And every time someone mentions any of the YouTuber names or any of the Twitch streamer names, it just boils down to this like, oh yeah, he's okay, but man, this guy's way better. No, he's trash. He's just there for the money. Oh yeah, it's just like vile and spit. Don't ever go to Facebook comments, man. Facebook's a terrible, scary, scary place. It's just like people bashing each other. And when I'm on these threads, and while these threads are about me, and I do enjoy dipping in and reading them, it's like very interesting and fun to read. And just people are like, oh man, he's so mean, that's true. He's so rude, that's true. He loves money, that's true. I mean, like, none of this is wrong. I'm like, yeah, that's it. And so I put on one of these threads on screen, and I just played some sad music and just dabbing my eyes with cash, just making fun of it. Oh, that was a good time. That's still one of my favorite Twitch clips.
Wonderful. Actually, if you could ever send, you know, I'll actually probably try to find it, and I would actually love to see that at some point. And we'll link that in the description because I think that would be enjoyable for people to watch. Now, that could be one of your favorite moments and most memorable moments, but through all this, what would you say your biggest accomplishment is?
Oh man, we're gonna talk accomplishment. It's just being here, being able to do this, like being able to say that I'm full time on Twitch and full time on YouTube, because it is like constantly I lay there and I think, God, this is amazing. That not only that I get to do this, but that anyone gets to do this, that anyone gets to put this much time and effort into something they care about and have so many people that care about them and people who enjoy the stuff they do. And just having those few people out there, it's you have to also have the right set of mind that, I mean, obviously I just talked about it. There's a lot of people who hate me for I don't know who they are. I don't know if they've even watched me before. They just hear other people saying things about me. And because someone else said something like, wow, that guy sounds mean. I don't like him either. He may have never even watched a single one of my videos. And just having people say mean things about you, but at the same time, having people say nice things about you and be able to hear that from still complete strangers, like, hey, I love your stuff. You're really cool. Thanks for doing it. And being able to be here and play games and have people with you playing games or play games with people is just amazing. And especially my viewers, only about 40% of my viewers are American. The rest of them are all over the place. 25% of us are German. And so,
wow.
yeah, it's really cool just to see like how many different people are just together on our channel playing games together.
And it's incredible, especially like hearing, you know, how most people are actually not, you know, within the US, or, you know, that it's truly an international community that you have. And, you know, with everything that you've done, everything that you've built, it's hard enough building a Twitch channel and it's hard enough starting a YouTube channel. You've managed to do both. Now, have you had any help from anybody, or do you basically do all of your own editing, all of your thumbnails, and plan all your streams yourself?
So everything that is Zeenigami is me, except for emotes. Emotes, my wife does them. She's an artist, so I've gotten her to do my emotes for me. So they're like super cute, things I can't do, and you gotta be super proud of those. But everything else, from editing to thumbnails, that's all stuff that I've done myself. Not big enough to afford an editor, not big enough to afford someone to make thumbnails for me, so I'll do those. And as an added bonus, you know, you got to learn skills, right? As now I gotta say I know how to edit videos. I get better at Photoshop. All these skills I had before, just building upon them, getting better at them myself, always like feels good, right?
Mm-hmm.
You practice, like, hey, you know, I'll practice learning how to make like a quick animation for this. I'll work on some new transitions. I'll work on audio, stuff like that. Being able to play with these things is always really cool, and it's also, you got to be like extra proud when you see like, I edited this, I put this up, this is 100% me, and put it out there online. If people like it, you get to enjoy 100% of that. It's like, you know, you made this and you truly made that, and you get to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Also, just being in that mobile anime game community is weird because we're so small and such a niche community. Like, I don't get out to as many other Twitch streamers out there. Like, I don't get to do collabs with other Fortnite streamers and other like Dead by Daylight streamers. I don't get to do this like, hey, we're gonna play as a squad and get together and get that kind of like cross pollination of viewers. So it's weird growing up in this tiny little corner, because so many times I go and I meet other people, especially people who are partnered, and like, yeah, we're full time. Like, yeah, it's cool. What do you play? It's like, yeah, I play, you know, Ark. Yeah, I know Ark. What do you play? I play this mobile anime game. I know One Piece. That's an anime, right? Yeah, you got it. So it's weird having like such a good community and such a healthy community, but at the same time it is small.
But it actually does really well, considering it's a niche within a niche. A niche of mobile games, niche, like, you know, there could be people like myself who, you know, I love anime, but I've never seen One Piece. You know, with how many episodes there are, I feel like it's too late to get into that. You know,
look, One Piece only has a few hundred episodes. So, I mean, if you've got like 3 months to kill.
Exactly. And, you know, would you consider that, you know, a hurdle, being a niche within a niche, or were there any other hurdles that you didn't expect growing your channel that you experienced along the way?
I wouldn't say it's a hurdle. I'd say it definitely helps more than anything. Like it would be a lot harder for me to start if I were doing full variety because, like I said earlier, it's really hard to get people used to your personality whenever you're changing games so much. You don't get to see that. You know, when you're making that same meal every single day, whenever you change a single thing about it, that's what really stands out. When you're making an omelet and you use mushrooms, and the next day you're using carrots, and the next day you're using like green onions, it really stands out. But if you're making a new meal every single day, it's kind of hard to get to know the cook.
That is true, and you're not really perfecting your craft at that point. So I feel like if anybody, had any questions on how to do what you do, you've perfected your craft almost, where, I don't know if that's the best way to put it, but just out of curiosity, besides Euro PC, what peripherals might be your favorite, or what have you used to kind of?
Oh man, have you tried out this cool gaming chair? This gaming chair by OPSEAT? Wow, this is a great company. Man, I am a true blue YouTuber now, true red YouTuber now, true purple Twitch streamer. Now I've got my cool gaming chair from OPSEAT. Use the link in the video description down below. It's in the YouTube video. Yeah. Use the link somewhere and get $50 off for the holidays and another $10 off. Use my link, Zeenigami. Heck yeah! You like that? That's for you.
I love that. That is absolutely fantastic. Couldn't have done that better myself.
I mean, like, I won't lie. Like, having a gaming chair, I've been like really excited about because, like, yeah, now I get to call myself like that's like the status symbol of being a true gamer. It's like it's a gaming chair. This is not an IKEA chair. This is not an office chair, man. This means that I'm not taking anybody's junk. This is what makes you a real gamer. I mean. What, headphones? Yeah, we've all got headphones. Who cares? But it's playing games the other day. I've got a mechanical keyboard. That's important. Can't use a regular non-mechanical keyboard, and God forbid you're on a laptop. Jeez, gross. And anyone who's using a trackball mouse can suck my toes. Y'all are losers. You are the scum of the earth. I have a friend who plays Overwatch with a trackball mouse, and I don't know how he does it. That guy is disgusting, and I hate him. Don't use a trackball mouse. Don't use a trackpad. Get a real mouse, you kids.
That's wonderful. That's hilarious. So with all the peripherals that you've had, is there any one that actually stands out that you might not have been able to do what you do without it, besides the chair?
I mean, it's all just tools. I mean, I got a mic. You go through several mics. I've gone through several headsets. It's really important to have like a console controller if you're on PC, so you can play those platformers. Ooh, that makes a big difference. Like playing Dark Souls on a mouse and keyboard's terrible. Get yourself a controller at some point.
That's true. I've died countless times with Dark Souls with a keyboard and mouse, and also with a controller.
Yeah, but a controller it's the mouse and keyboard and mapping controls are just terrible. At least with a controller, like you can actually move your camera around properly.
Yeah, it's much more fluid when I watch myself die in that game. Yes. But also, we're curious. Do you have any big plans for either your Twitch stream or your YouTube channel coming up that you'd like to announce to the audience?
So for this year with 2019, I've been trying to stick to a better schedule. 2 p.m. Central every day is what I've been trying to stick with. And it would be pretty good. It's pretty good. Better than before. So, like, every day, 2 p.m. Central, trying to start around there has been the big thing. And this year's the first year I'm finally going to release, like, my top 10 games or top worst games list. Because as, like, a YouTuber, I think I'm obligated to make one of those. Like, everyone is contractually obligated to make the top 10 games of 20XX. So I'm going to make one of those finally.
And we'll be excited to see that whenever that comes out. I am just pure curiosity, someone who plays the games that you do. I definitely want to see your list, as it's certainly going to be different than everybody else's. So yeah, you are obligated by YouTube and by my own curiosities.
Yes. By gaming YouTuber rules, we must make a 20XX top 10 games list.
Exactly. Well, thank you truly so much for joining us on the OPC podcast. Thank you so much for being here and donating your time with us. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Ruby.
All right. Have a great day.